Morning. Well, that seems to work. We never tried this, the countdown before, so we thought we'd have a go. Morning, everybody. Hope you're all well. It's freezing down here in Truro, not far off the frost, to be honest. I've still got my shorts on, which is weird for me at this time of year. It's 6 degrees driving in this morning. Absolutely fucking freezing. Anyway, it's warm in here because we've got the heating on, which is nice. So today, what's the plan? We were going to demonstrate some road markings. That's what I wanted to do, but I'm probably still going to just quickly look at those. But the ones I cut yesterday didn't quite go to plan. I need to tweak them a bit because my logos and things on the sheet were in the wrong place. So we'll look at those in a bit. We're going to build one of our shipping containers. That's the main subject today. LX179, it's a 40-foot shipping container. We do other containers as well. We do the 20-foot military ones, MOD ones, and 20-foot standards, and 10-foot, and all sorts. They all go together the same. So we'll build the 40-foot one. Gives you an idea of how they fit together, what the process is. They're all the same, essentially, just different sizes. Then, if we've got time, after we've done that, and a quick look at the road markings, I'm going to quickly assemble one of our gates, because I'm in the process of turning the 5-bar gates into laserboard versions so they match the LX236 fencing. So I'm just going to get my glue tip on, get the bits and bobs ready here. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be with you. All right, cheers. Right then, there we go, glue tip on. Using the usual stuff this week, got the usual bits of kit. Pot of tissue, keep the glue tip running nice and smoothly. Laser cut kit glue, DLAD87. You can use rocket car glue. Probably could get away with PVA for this, but I've never done it with PVA on this particular kit, so I really wouldn't know. I'd go with either of these two. Both of those work fine. We have our SX02. If you've not got one of these, get yourself one. Absolutely brilliant. I don't like doing the hard sell, but these work really. I know we make them, but they really work well for gluing things at right angles and stuff like that. So brilliant little jigs. SX002, that is. Grab one, you get 2 in a pack. Really useful. So I'll be using that quite a bit today because we're building a container which is lots of right angles. I've got a sharp knife. Shouldn't need rulers, shouldn't need scoring tools, might need tweezers maybe for the little bits on the end, the handles and bits and bobs. And of course, we've got the kit with the instructions. So, LX179, here we go. Long time since I built one of these. So I'll be doing it just as you guys would. I'll be following my own instructions, hoping that they make sense. And of course, Tina's here doing the comments and all the rest of it. Feeling a little bit under the weather this morning because she's got a cold. I've had a cold, she's got it now, so she's probably going to be quite quiet this morning, so she'll just sit there and quieter than normal. You're normally quiet, but you'll just sit there and answer questions or quietly pass on questions. So here we go. And of course, got my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Essential. I don't need them for the start, but I'll need them for when it comes to the handles and bits and bobs on the doors. Okay. So it's all laser board, this kit. We have essentially the body of the container there, which is that bit. And then we have the detail, the sides, the top, the ends, the base, and the door handles and other bits and bobs. So we're going to start with the main core. I'll release the parts from the laser board. We've got, just have a look, A and B, which, there's a kit map. There. And with the kit, we've put kit map in, which essentially helps you identify the parts. So we don't mark the parts on the kit. You just compare what you've got in front of you on the kit map, and away you go. So we're going to release parts A and B, and then C, D, E, and F from the thing. So we want A and B first. Oops. Let's release these. If I was more organized, I'd have released these last night and laid them all out on my desk, but I wasn't. So you'll have to bear with me while I just release the parts. Again, we're cutting from the back of the sheet, as we always do, because back of the sheet, you get a nice pop, and that means the part's released from the sheet perfectly. There's nothing else holding it in. Now we need part B, so that's an A and a B. And I've just realised I'm really actually hungry. So if you work, say, if you work from the back of the sheet, you get this nice pop. And if you work with a nice sharp knife, all the parts come out lovely and clean and don't really need any tidying up. That's A and B, and I'm going to release E and F while I'm at it, and I'll put them to one side. So I've got them, and I can use the kit map just to check that the parts are correct as I build them, but it doesn't really matter. Essentially, all you're doing on this piece first with this bit of the kit is you're building a solid core, and you can kind of only get it together one way. Can't really get it wrong because all the bits are keyed and handed. So you can use a bit of artistic license, modeler's license, whatever you wish to call it. Yeah, I can't believe how cold it's gone actually. 6 degrees driving along, so it's not far off frost, is it? Wasn't long ago, it was 18 degrees still. It was lovely. But there we go, the joys of October, modelling season. Which means we can all get stuck into building some decent bits. I've been working on a few new kits the last few days. There was a baseboard that we previewed in the members area, or in the Rail Modellers Club, and a few other bits. And then stayed at home part of yesterday because we were waiting for a delivery. So I cracked on with another farm building, which I'm quite pleased with actually. Looking forward to releasing that. Okay, so now I'm going to use the SX002. And I'm going to just position these as they should be. So what I'm doing is holding the A and B parts in the corners of the SX02 here, so that they're at right angles. The tabs on each piece fit into the slots on the side piece, or the tabs on the bottom fit into the slots on the side. Then all I'm going to do, if the glue tip is a good one, which it is, I'm going to run a bead of glue down the joint between the two parts while I hold it for a few seconds. And hopefully that should be enough. Capillary action, or whatever it's called, should kick into place and hold the parts together for us while they dry. That is what I'm hoping anyway. Or they could just fall apart and we end up having to start again. So the this particular kit is LX179. The MOD containers, which are 20-foot open siding, side opening. I can't read. 20-foot side opening shipping containers are LX178, and then the 20-foot ones are LX180. These look great on the back of lorries, stuck in a yard somewhere, on the back of a wagon, all manner of places really. Okay, so that's starting to take now. So we've got the beginnings of a right-angled side and base of a container. Okay, now the bit then should start to hold it all in place a little bit better is if we put this piece in on the end. So we do the same principle, putting this piece in. I'm just going to have it so it faces me so I can see what I'm doing. But all I'm doing is locating the tabs and the slots. At the end of this, I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see. That's better. And I'm going to push that into the corner. Okay, so I've got a three-sided shape now. There. I'm going to use the glue again. Do the same again with the glue. Run it into the corners. I'm using SMS tip 2s on here on the glue pot, just to hold the, or just to apply the glue. They're slightly shorter than the standard ones you get with a deluxe laser cut kit glue because the glue sets so quickly, it's unbelievable. A shorter tip and using the little pot of wet tissue means that everything stays flowing freely while we build the kit. I find that the standard ones, the longer ones, which are great because it can reach longer, tighter spots and tighter places, block up really, really easily, and they're annoying to say the least. Okay, so we've got that part there now. There we go. Beginnings of our container. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build the other part in the same process. You can either add more pieces to that, but I want to do, because it's not overly warm in here yet, it's warming up, but it's not overly warm. I want to let the glue dry nicely on that while I do the other bits. So rather than gluing more parts to that and risking it all dropping to pieces before my very eyes, I'm going to glue this one together in the same process, in the same way. Then I'll glue that, hopefully, directly to that. And it should work, shouldn't it? Two halves, hopefully. Should fit. I'm just checking with the person that probably knows how this is going to work better than I do. She normally spots things that will work or won't work and goes, hang on, if you do that, will this not happen? And I go, oh yeah, it will, won't it? So we're doing the same thing again, exactly the same. Bit of fiddling to get this bit in here. It's only fiddly because I'm trying to hold it in the corner so it holds everything upright. If you're doing this, you can let the glue dry for longer than I can, because you're not having to build it live in front of people. Get in. Oh, goodness me. Right, this is how to make a hash of it. There you go. That's better. Right, it's in now. Okay, run a bit more glue down there to make sure that's really got it. And do the same on that one. And the same on that one. That's better. Right, I'm going to just hold it tight for 2 or 3 seconds, just while the glue starts to dry. Hopefully it's not going to glue to the jig, but it shouldn't do. I've never had a problem with that yet, but there's always a first time for everything. Okay, how are we doing on the comments and things this morning? All right. I can't read them from here with these glasses on. Everything's a blur. I can see what's in front of me straight on here, but I can't see any of the comments with my glasses on, unless I really.
Not many really at the minute. Right. Asking. Martin Green asked, did anyone know when these containers came into use?
That's a very good question. I would have said the 80s, I think. I'd have said ISO shipping containers would probably be the 80s. Before that, there were the non-ISO version, obviously. And that's the right round there.
Andrew Finney said on 17th of May 1917, Benjamin Franklin Fitch inaugurated exploitation of an experimental installation for transfer of the containers called demountable bodies.
All right. I've just realised that's on the wrong end there. You Wally. That needs to be on there. So there we go. Right, don't build the 2 parts separately, because what you end up with is a thing that doesn't go together. What we need to do now then is glue that. Just realised I built 2 pieces the same, which then don't work. They need to be handed. So don't do that. Follow the instructions. That's the best thing. RTFM. Right, so let's do that. I've removed that piece off the end. We'll put that on in a minute. We're going to glue this now onto here, which should fit on there like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that back in there so it can sit and set for a second. So this is also a lesson in how not to do things. Okay, do not assemble 2 parts the same, because when you do, they don't go together. You can do it, almost do it, but not quite. Okay, so I put a bit of glue in the tabs there, and the slots even. And the same in the recess here.
That 1955 seems to be the year.
All right, that far back. I suppose they might have been maybe, but there was probably still phasing out the non-ISO versions. I don't know, to be honest. I know Freightliners were non-ISO, I think in the 60s, I think. Okay, we've got stuff there, glue there, and then I'll run a bit of glue down here as well, just to make sure. Just a little bit. It is warming up quite quickly in here, so I'm trying to work a bit swifter than I was. Okay, so this should now sit rather nicely in there, which it does. Okay, we've pushed the end together and we should then be able to piece those parts together, and we've made a toothpaste tube, sort of box, whatever. There we go. We've got a box with an open end at the moment. So just make sure everything's nice and tight. Make sure all the tabs are located where they should be. It would have worked assembling the two parts in one go in separate halves, but I need to put that the other end. That's where I went wrong. So if you're going to do it, make sure you build one with the end at one end and then the other one the opposite way around. Concentrate rather than trying to do it like I'm doing it and winging it. Okay, now we're going to glue the end on. So really straightforward. We're going to have a solid box now. If you wanted to hack these, of course, to make them so you could open the doors at the end, leave one end off. That's the easiest thing to do. Or just cut a frame so you've got an opening that, so you've still got some strength to the core. But you should, in theory, be able to do. I think that's right. Yeah. So I'm just talking. I'm talking to myself about what we're doing here. Yeah, you'd need to fiddle about with the end, one of the ends, if you wanted to do it open. Okay, so that's going to go on that way, like that, and we're going to press that down, hopefully into there, like so. Just nudge the edges a bit, so we can get this one in. There we are. That is it. We have a rock solid container core. Okay, which is looking pretty decent. Now I'm just going to try and put a little tiny bead of glue down a couple of places, just because I don't want it to move when we assemble the rest of it. Again, just relying on capillary action. Let the material soak the glue up into the joint, both sides. So it's rock solid. Okay, which it's seemingly happening to do, which is nice. Good, that's working well. Right, okay, we have a core. Superb. See, these don't take very long at all. Now we get to the fun bit, where we make it look more like a container. Okay, we've got that, so we're going to put the top on first. The reason we're putting the top on is because the sides of the top sit flush with the sides on here. So when we glue that on, we get everything looking nice and neat, and the sides sit perfectly. If you do the sides first, the sides are slightly taller, so you've got to line them up, which is a bit more tricky to do. So we're going to do the top first, which is the one with the curved ends on the cutouts. So release the top. That's Terry, which means Lola's now going to have a bark. There we go. We don't need Terry today, thank you, Lola. We're all good. Yeah, all good. Thank you. Good girl. Right. So really simple. That goes on there. Dead easy. This is the same on all the containers, whether it's a 20 foot, 10 foot, 40 foot, MOD, all the rest of it. They're all identical. I'm not going to worry about gluing every single one of these detail strips. What I'm going to do is put glue around the outside, working as quick as I can because it will dry quite quickly. Tina's typing away. I have no idea what she's saying to you all.
I'm just saying morning to everybody. A couple of people have said they've had their packs.
Oh, good. Now,
Richardson said he's had his was returned from Sweden.
Ah, no.
It got the 0.
Yeah, well, see, because they're gifts, you see.
Yeah.
So that's why we did them as 0, but we'll have to try again and we'll put a value on them. But unfortunately, then we run the risk of, because the gifts being sent out to first class members. So technically, if you sent somebody a birthday present, you wouldn't necessarily put 20 quid on the front, would you? I don't know. Anyway, it's a catalogue, it's a few of the bits. So as far as we're concerned, they're just sent out for free. So they're a freebie. So we put 0 value, but it's probably not the right thing according to Brexit and all that rubbish. So we have to try and send them again, some of them. So right, anyway, but we are. All the first class packs have gone out now. So if you haven't had one yet, if you've not had an email saying it's on its way, drop it in the line, jump on the club at Dylan Sanderson on there on the club, drop him a message. He can check whether you've had an order been put on the system for your pack. If you've not, give him your name and address. He'll set one up for you. If you've had an order and it's not arrived, he can check the tracking for you, etc., etc. So overseas ones, most have got there, but the odd one has been a pain in the backside and has come back. We've had a couple back from Sweden. I think there's one on its way back from Portugal, which is a bit of a pain. Martin. Yes, Martin, yours is just on its way back, I think, from the conversation you had with Ian. I think it was Ian you had a conversation with yesterday. Okay, now I'm going to cut the sides and ends out. So,
Clive Cobbold has asked how the Class 86.
Yeah, I'm still talking.
Boxes.
Yeah. They're still on my thing. I'm on them. I'll message you later about them, Clive. They're on my click up for today. My to-do list thing. I will message you in a bit. This last couple of weeks has been a bit interesting because of colds, school, kids, all the rest of it. So we've been kind of challenged a little bit with certain things. So we haven't quite done as much as we'd like to have done of a few things, but so bear with us. We're a little bit behind where we need to be. Okay, so the side now, everything's tabbed. It's so easy to build these. Everything's tabbed. So again, same as before, we're going to put the glue around the outside, so most of it's on. Now, the reason why I'm not worried about gluing the rest of it on so much is because when you paint it, the glue will just seal everything up anyway. Whether you brush paint it or you spray paint or whatever, by the time the paint's soaked in, it'll glue everything, or fix everything in position anyway. So you don't have to worry too much about it. It'll just pull it all in nicely. The good thing about laserboard as well is you don't really have to prime it. I know a lot of you do prime stuff. If you go for a really bright colour, like a bright yellow or something on your containers, then yes, I would recommend priming. But if you're going for I don't know, a dull blue or a green or something, probably wouldn't bother. I'd just blast it with a decent heavy coat of paint from a rattle can, and it will just soak in. You get a nice matte finish naturally rather than being glossy. It'll just look spot on. No need to prime unless you're really kind of particular. There's me sitting there putting glue on all the bits. Look. Oh, I could just eat a bacon sandwich. Right, do same again, sides on. And the sides are not symmetrical, so you need to make sure you got the thicker bit at the bottom, because that's where the base is going to go, because you've got the gaps for the forks and stuff on whatever you decide to pick the container up with, in real life obviously, or model form. So there we go, sides are on. That's looking more containerish look, and that's quite good. Okay, we're going to glue the end on, and then we're going to do the door end. The door end's a bit of a fiddle, but it's a bit more fiddly, but it works well. Just have to concentrate on what I'm doing. This is that end piece there. Door's going to the other end, and we do the base, and then we've built a container, which is in record time. It must be only what 25 past 10. So containers don't take very long at all to build, and they're ready to put on your layout in around about half an hour, which is pretty good, isn't it? Is there an up and down on this, or is it symmetrical? There is an up and down. Yes, that must be the bottom because it needs the bit for the skids. That's wider, so it goes that way. Okay, so when we've done this container, we'll have a quick look at the 5-bar gate, which is so straightforward to build. It's unbelievable. Build that in about 2 minutes. But I want to build that one just because I need to take photographs of it so I can get it on the site, the laserboard version. Okay, so that's that end gone on. Really easy. We're going to do the doors, but I'm going to leave the door handles, catches, whatever you want to call them, locks, for the moment, because I'll come back and do those last, only because they're a bit fiddly and I don't want to damage them or get them, or knock them out of place when I'm working on the rest of it, or the bottom of the thing. Okay, so door end, it's the same thing again. You've got slightly wider gaps at the bottom there to allow for the forks or whatever it is that you're picking up, you know, whatever container handling gear you're using. So pop that on there. Like so, in theory, that should all slot into the joints, which it does, into the tabs and things, slots. It's it done. Looking containerish. Both ends done now. How easy was that? Really straightforward, isn't it? Lovely. I like building kits like this because they just fall together. It's really enjoyable to do. Okay, so this ends. So I start from one end. Now these are positioned on this sheet exactly how they need to be applied to the bottom of your container. So what I'll do is I'll work my way along. Little glue on there. I don't need a huge amount because it's only a small bottom piece. Okay, so that just slots in there now, like so. I'm going to do the next one.
Clive Cobbold's asked what the containers are made from.
The laser board. Well, that's as much as I can tell you. The laser board. It's a wooden kind of stuff. It's like a thin MDF, but it's not an MDF. But it's laser board.
Andrew Finney says that it looks like the kit could be bashed into a 20-foot container.
Yeah, but why would you? Why would you? You've got that, look. 20-foot container. It's there. There. You've already got one. So it could be bashed, but there, 20-foot. You've already got one. We do them all. Right down to 10-foot. There's a 10-foot one. There's even a 10-foot, what's it called? Toilet block thing. Isn't there? Cube. Little cube one.
Yeah,
cute little cube, which is a 10-foot toilet block and welfare unit. So yeah, there's no need to kit bash them because I've done it for you. Save yourself some pennies. Just go with the cheaper one. Go with the smaller one. It's cheaper. Save a couple of quid. And it slots together beautifully. Laser board's quite hard to cut actually with a knife. So if you were to kit bash it, watch your fingers. Watch your fingers. Okay, nearly done. Now, of course, if you wanted pre-coloured ones of these, I didn't bring one up. I think there's one in a box somewhere. But anyway, we do card versions. If you want ones with logos and things like that on, and you're happy with wrapping them, we do a card version. They're the CT range of products on the site, CT 001, etc. We've got 7, I think. Loads more still to do, but I think there's 7 on the site so far. We've got things like DHL and is it OOCL or something like that? I can't remember what it's called anyway. There's various ones. Bell, a couple of others. They come wrapped. So if you want those, a mix and match both of them, excuse me, together, look pretty good because you've got branded ones that sit at the back of the layout or wherever you want them on your container port, and then you could have the plain ones like these with just a few little markings which you can get transfers from various places. You could have these in front where you're going to see more detail, and you can weather these, and so blend them together and job's a good one. There, that's the base done. Really straightforward. Okay, now we're going to do the fiddly bit, which is always leave till last because I don't like doing it. We're going to glue the handles on, or the locks on now. So these should come out exactly the same as the other stuff. Again, cut from the back of the sheet, preserves any detail and allows me to get a nice bit of feedback from each one so I know it's released. Then you have the clicks. Okay, all done there. That's it. Right, turn them over because there is some engraved detail on these. And of course, you want them to point in the right direction. Now, if you look really, 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 really carefully, there are, you can see this, there's a couple of little marks there, top and bottom, 8 in total, showing you where to line the handles up. So in theory, if you position the tops and bottoms of those locks the locking posts, pillars, whatever you want to call them, rods on those spots there, everything should drop into place, hopefully, he says. So what I'm going to try and do now is put a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of glue in a few places in line with these lock positions, or the unmarked, the blank pieces. I'm going to turn those round the right way. Use the tip of the knife to pick the part up because it just makes it easier to maneuver. Turn on shaky hand mode and hopefully position that somewhere near where it should be. Okay, same again with this one. A little tiny bead of glue all the way down there. Okay, and make sure I've got the right one. When you look closely, you can, when you see it in real life, you can see the detail. There's detail engraved on these locks rather than just being plain. So if you turn them the correct way around and have a close look at them.
Grant Young's asked if we've got any examples of them painted.
Not here, but I can dig out a photograph that Phil Parker did. He did an article in BRM not so long ago and used one of these. I think it was on the garage diorama, I believe. I can dig it out. If you jump onto the Railway Modelers Club shortly after this, onto railwaymodelers.com or community.railwaymodelers.com, I'll post it up in there and you can have a look. I haven't got any painted examples here because I'm a bit useless at painting. Well, no, I just don't get a chance to paint stuff, to be honest. I wish I did, I just don't get time.
Clive Cobbold's asked whether you make open containers for steel coils in AA.
I don't at the moment, but we probably could. I just need some pictures, really, of the sort of thing you're thinking of. If they're based on this kind of concept, but just open, then I don't see why we couldn't do them. Be easy enough, Clive. Just need photos, really. Would be good.
Edward said, morning, have you tried a quick stick for picking up and placing small parts?
No, never heard of it. What's a quick stick? Oh, morning, Edward. It's Edward. You're not very far from you. You're just on the road, I think, don't you? Actually, you're quite local. From memory. Good morning, and morning to everybody. I've not said morning to. I've no idea who's watching, but good morning to everybody. Right, there we go. Container. It's done. It's finished. Look at that. We've got the thing. Didn't do too bad actually. I got them fairly straight, which is pretty good for me on a Wednesday morning with shaky hands. So the container's done. How's that? Look at that. I'm quite pleased with that. They're rock solid. I love these because they go together really easy, and it's just such a fun little kit to build. The handles there are quite a challenge, but they're all right. Not too bad. So I'm quite pleased with that. Goes together lovely and paint them. I'll say jump onto community.railwaymodelers.com. I'll get Tina to type that up as a web address on there in the comments if you can. Community. In a second.
I was going to show you that one.
Yeah. Oh, I can't see it. Got the pointed ones up here.
Painted ones.
Painted ones. Oh, Ian. Yes. Oh, painted ones. Oh, okay. Yeah. Post them up today, please, Ian. I'll post Phil Parker's as well. Please. Sorry, I didn't recognise you because it's AY76. That's Ian. Yes, if you can post them up for me, please, Ian. That'd be brilliant. Let's have a few. Post two or three in a gallery or something. That'd be amazing if you could. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love these. Just do. Can you tell? I'm excited about containers. So yeah, LX179. That's what we just did, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We also do LX180, which is the 20-foot, and LX178, which is the MOD version. And we've also got, like I say, the 10-foot version, and we have a toilet block version. And there's also shipping container site offices, which, if I remember correctly, is LX246. Was that right, boss? LX246? Shipping container site offices? two-tier with a set of stairs?
I think so.
Yeah, right, okay. Right, now what I'm going to do really quickly is I made a complete pig's ear of making these yesterday, but I've got some road markings. I'm just going to really quickly show you what I'm working on to tweak our road markings. We have RX004, RX006, 7, 8, whatever, up to some number. I'm tweaking them and doing a different version, an additional version, which enable you to get sort of a weathered finish. I need to play more with the weathering. I need to adjust some positions of stuff, but the concept is they are pre-weathered. Here I've stuck some, well, the standard RX004 are unweathered, so they're solid yellow lines, solid white lines, etc. What I've got here is a pre-weathered version on just a sheet of asphalt texture. You can see it's got sort of a...
What's the link you want me to put up?
community.railwaymodelers.com. That is it. Okay, now I haven't got a vehicle because I'm short of vehicles. So imagine that's a road, okay? You've got a bit, imagine there's a pavement. There's a lot of imagination here. Let's pretend. Okay, so here's a lorry, right? So what we're going to do now is get a rough idea of where we want our yellow lines to be. Not yellow lines, white lines, you fool. White lines. And I'm going to mark on here with a pen. Don't do it in pen on your layout because it'll look silly. Do it in pencil, then you can rub it off. I'm going to do it in pen just because that's all I've got. I haven't got a pencil up here. I'm going to get a rough idea of where I want these to be. I think I can just about see that. Just. And then let's get some, what we got here? They're solid white lines, they're single, they'll do, those ones. Okay, so in theory, we flick one of these little white lines up there. I've roughly marked out my road, so I've got a very vague idea of where I want things to be. And then I'm going to try and follow my pen marks. Bear in mind, this is not a scientific experiment. I've not spent any time marking it out, and I'm not spending any time much on my positioning. I'm literally just banging them on here so you can see how they work. So it's a self-adhesive. They should glue to most things. It's permanent self-adhesive. They're a little bit static this morning because it's quite warm in here, and with them being polyester, they've got a little bit of kind of static attraction going on here. Okay, but using the tip of the knife just to pick them up and carry them, I can position them roughly where I want.
Says that he uses a cocktail stick with Babybel wax on the end to pick up small parts.
Clever. Oh yeah, Babybel wax. It's sticky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Lola would like that if we use Babybel. What's it? Lola would eat the Babybel while we use the wax. That's very clever. I suppose it's a bit like tacky wax, isn't it? It's a kind of similar kind of thing. It's just a tacky thing. Right, okay. Very, very, very rough that was. Very, very rough. But I've marked out what could be, essentially, if that was on a lorry. Yeah, a main road. But hopefully, can you tell, does it look like weathered on the camera? Does it look like it's weathered? There's a sort of a gentle nod from Tina, so I think it's all right. I think, yeah. So that was hopefully weathered. And you could say same thing when we did the full sheets. There'll be other bits, other markings and stuff on there. So what's it? Stops, giveaways, and various other things. We have these double yellows. So I'll just try and do. Let's do a double yellow again.
Serious question from Wheezy Palace Models, N scale. I take it he means the container.
They're there. They're on the site.
Maybe, or
No, they are.
No, I mean, or does he mean the road markings?
Road markings. Oh, I don't know. If it's road markings in do we do engage road markings? Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
RX004N. Yeah, we do. I will do the weathered ones. Once I've cracked the 00 weathered ones.
But we do the containers in.
And the containers are in there as well, yeah. Yeah, they're there. Right, so I'm just doing really quickly. Going to do another double yellow look. Like I say, I've not marked any of this stuff out properly. I'm just doing it by eye, so it will be wobbly. It won't be anywhere near to Ministry of Transport standards at all. It'll be to my guesswork. I know a lot of you have used these and got some really good results actually, so which is brilliant. They're relatively easy to work with, just got to take your time. As with most things, all good things take time, don't they? Nearly. Ooh. Yeah, not too bad for a quick minute. There we go. So asphalt texture paper, some weathered road markings. So look out for those. I'm hoping to get them out by the weekend if I can. So we'll still do the RX04, which is the what do you call it? Non-weathered version. We'll still do all the non-weathered ones, but we'll bring out the weathered version as well. So you've got a mix and match. So you could have, you know, bits where road markings are brand new, or you can weather them yourself, of course. So people have, you guys all have different techniques for doing stuff. So we'll still do the unweathered ones as well. But I don't think that looks too bad. That side of the road's slightly wider than that one, but like I say, I just did it by eye, and I don't think that's too bad.
Chris
So
Dodd
look out for them.
How many double yellows and white lines are on a sheet?
The answer,
the ones you need the most of.
flipping loads. Tons, Chris. There's lots. There's lots. I don't know whether we've actually measured it on the on the packs, but there's meters and meters of them. There's loads. That'd do, I don't know, roughly. What's this? Each of those is 195-ish mil long. 195. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. There must be nearly 40. So 40 times 195. Nearly 8 meters, 7.5 meters. Yeah, seven odd meters on that. It's loads, isn't it? And I think you're Engage, aren't you, Chris? Not you, but your model is Engage. So I think you, yeah, that'd be plenty. So there'll be a similar amount on the Engage ones because you get tons, absolutely tons. Right. Anyway, that's those road markings. Look out for those very, very shortly. I'll try and get them done for the weekend. Right, really quickly before it's time for grab a coffee and get some food because I'm starving. I'm going to build the gates.
Just on the lines. How's it gone? Andrew
Yep.
said about cycle lanes.
Yeah, on the they're there. On the RX004, we have cycle markings, all the rest of it. There's solid white lines and various other things. There's every marking you could ever really think of. We don't do a coloured cycle lane at the moment. We could do a coloured cycle lane. The trouble is, it's going around corners. There's nothing really we can do. We do a walkway, DC 27, DCO 27, 28 and 29 and 30 or something like that, just walkways. We could, if the demand is there, do cycle lanes based on those, but corners are hard. Excuse me. Corners are the hard thing. Because every corner, every curve is different. So doing a coloured thing might not be very easy. Right, really quickly, gates. 5-bar gate. This is going to be LX459, I think I wrote on my sheet. LX459, be available from this weekend. They've been available since the beginning of time as a card version, LX001. They've been around since we started in 2014. The laserboard one is just coming out because I keep forgetting to do it. And this one allows you to use it with your LX236 fencing and any other fence you've got that's in laserboard. So it has a naturally brown colour to it, or a natural brown. Right, all we're going to do, really simple, layered stuff. These, it's 3 layers for the main gate and 3 layers for the gate posts, each of the gate posts. So we glue that one on there to give us that side of the 5-bar gate. Okay, turn it over. A little bit of glue. Now you can buy these pre-made and pre-molded and all that in plastic and car and whatever white metal and things like that. But I prefer these because they just look tidier. and more realistic. There we go. Nice gate, 3 layers of laser board. Look pretty smart, really straightforward. And on the side there, we've got 2 little tabs, which can be our hinge. So we'll glue the gate posts together, same as the gate. 1, and 2. Gate posts. The other one, we can decide where we want to position the hinges. I'm going to put the hinges so they're sort of offset a little bit so they match with this particular gate. So when we glue it together, it all looks nice and tidy. So I'm going to glue these other 2 pieces on top of this one. You can see what I'm doing. So it's really straightforward. This is just literally 3 layers of laser board for each part. So easy. Okay, the last piece. Now the reason why the gate and the gate post come separate is because you can then position them if you want them at right angles, partly open, however you would like them really. They're designed to be positioned to suit your requirements. Now, so the idea is, if we get this the right way around, like so, that should sit nicely on our baseboard. Yeah, so if we put a little glue on the bottom of each of these hinge pieces, and then we bring that together, there should be just enough clearance at the bottom there for the gate to sit nicely. Hopefully, anyway. A little bit of extra height to the fence posts, so they just sit sensibly. So I'll wait for that to dry for just a few extra seconds.
Tom Louth has asked whether we get a reminder when the first class membership's due for renewal.
That is a very good question. If you've joined through Apple or Google, Android thingy, Google Play, then you should do, because we get one for when Spotify renews and stuff like that, I think, don't we? Mm-hmm. Or whatever, on the phone. So you should do. If you've joined through Stripe, through the web, I honestly don't know. I will double check. I'll ask. Can't ask Erin because she's left. The lady that used to work for the company that does this software for us, she's left. I'll ask the support and see what they say in terms of notifications. There may be something. I will find out, or one of us will anyway. Okay, so there we go. 5-bar gate. LX459. They'll be on the site hopefully if I can get the photographs taken later on today. If not, they'll be on by the end of the week. So that's LX459. That's it. So this morning we built an LX179 container, of which there are various other variants. Just search container on the website, you get a load of stuff come up, tons of them. We've had a play with road markings, which is based on our RX004. RX004 are the unweathered ones. If you want the weathered ones, just hold your horses, be ready in a couple of days. I'll try and get them finished off. Really pleased with how they look, because they just, from a distance viewing them, they just look like worn out road markings, I think. Quite smart. So that's those. So we played with them. There'll be something like RX 12, 13 and 14 or something like that when I've done them. But I just need to finish the weathering and move some logos out of the way so when they cut, they look smart. Just remove the logos. Maybe just remove the logos. Maybe I should just do that, shouldn't I? Just print the weathering. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'll sort it out.
Just hold on,
yes.
A quick question. Clive Cobold's asked, what's the price of the containers?
Good question. Good question. My phone is over there. Tina will tell you. Let's have a look. Okay, so LX179 is £7.99. LX178 is £6.99. 180 is £6.99. So that's the 20-foot one is £6.99. So the bigger one is £7.99. We also do twin packs, which I can't remember the part numbers. LX246, the site office which is the twin 20-foot containers with the steps, is £11.99. The little 10-foot shipping container toilet block is £6.99. So there are some twin packs, but if you just search containers, they'll come up on the site. They're all there. That's the easiest thing to do. There's absolutely loads of them, including the pre-wrapped or the wrapped versions and all that. So there we go. That's it, I think. Anyway, LX175. Yeah, we do Engage ones. LX167. There's some twin packs. There's numerous ones. LX177. Excuse me. Then there's the CT05, CT03. These are the wrapped ones. So there's quite a lot. Loads to choose from, and you can do your thing. Ian hopefully will post some pictures in the club if he's not done it already of these all painted up, and I will post one from Phil Parker showing the the garage scene that he did. Used a few bits of ours on it, but mainly the container. I think that's about it. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please do like, share. It works. It helps no end. So if you could like it, share and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed building these. They're good fun, these, and I've enjoyed doing the road markings, even though I guessed it all. Have a brilliant rest of the week. I'm going to try and finish the baseboard that I was working on today and help Tina get the orders out, because it's just us two here this week and next week because Kate's on holiday and stuff. So it's a bit far, isn't it? But yeah, we'll crack on, try and get as much as we can done. Just to service. Hopefully you could see a bit better as well, because I've got an extra light this week, which has been useful. So thanks for watching. Have a brilliant day. I'm going to get a cup of tea, make Tina a cup of tea, find some food, probably a boiled egg, something exciting like that. I could really eat a Mars bar, but I've only got boiled eggs, so there we go. Yeah, have a good one. I'll see you later. See you in a couple of weeks.